Namaskar, Adab, Sat Shri Akal. Very warm welcome, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are staying safe and you are healthy. Uh, हर बार जैसे मैं कहता हूँ, I hope you are taking extra precautions, extra care. Even though numbers काफी अब थोड़े लग रहे हैं, थोड़ा सा stable हो रहा है, but still they are on the rise. Uh, Irrespective of the situation, I just hope you're taking all the necessary precautions. Mask हमेशा हमेशा अपने पास रखें, अपने मुंह पे रखें, सिर्फ पास ना रखें. And please make sure you sanitize all the places because बहुत लोगों के मैं रहा हूँ they've started taken it for granted, और कुछ लोग ऐसे अपडेट्स दे रहे हैं, न्यूज़ दे रहे हैं कि दिस इज एक्चुअली गुड फॉर हर्ड इम्यूनिटी. सो लोग अब उसके लिए कि चलो ले ही लेते हैं कोविड, उस चक्कर में लगे हुए हैं. सो प्लीज डोंट टेक इट दैट लाइटली. इट इज गुड इफ इट it happens and you recover out of it, but it's not good that कि covid आपको करना ही करना है. So please take extra precautions and be safe. All right, this session is gonna be the last session for this series. uh, as हमने शुरुआत में बताया था, actually we were initially thinking of doing 3 to 4 sessions, but we went on to 7. This is the seventh session where we're gonna, so lucky 7 I would call it, जहाँ पर we would definitely kind of consolidate everything what we've discussed in the last 6 sessions, plus would love to have people join. तो जितने भी लोग जुड़ रहे हैं, प्लीज इफ यू वांट टू कनेक्ट, चाहे आप चैट में बात करें या आप स्क्रीन पे आके बात करें, प्लीज लेट अस नो हाउ these sessions were. What was your kind of input around the app itself, Relax app, or generally around such topics, and I love both the guests to kind of talk about this as they come on screen. But just a little housekeeping tip, we will definitely be ending it in 1 hour. So in case you need to talk, if you need to take any kind of further discussion, I will definitely share Twitter handle, तो मैं दोनों guests के share करूंगा ही करूंगा, but at the same time I'll ask them to kind of share their details so that you can get in touch with them. So without wasting any more time, let me get both of them on the screen. Hello, Dr. Krishna and Vibhuti ji. Namaskar.
Namaste, 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 everybody.
Namaste.
And welcome back once again. And for the time being, I would say yes. It's a little sad that it is the last, but it's never the penultimate. There will be more sessions hopefully in the near future. But it's always good to have such focused discussions. और मैं देख रहा हूँ कुछ लोग obviously already आ चुके हैं. They are already sad because मैंने thumbnail पे भी लिख दिया था last session. So but grateful that we got to learn so much from both of you. So let's start with, obviously we'll go back to like summarizing everything that we've discussed, but usse pehle let's start with the same question that I always ask all my guests. What's that one thing on top of your mind today? So Vibhuti ji, आपसे शुरू करते हैं.
आप हमेशा हम मुझसे शुरू करते हैं, and then I will maintain the seventh lead as well. Like as you were giving warning to everybody that wear your mask, wear your things, but at the same time there is a massive protest going around the world, which the mainstream media doesn't cover. It is a scary situation. There is something not okay about this whole pandemic, Wuhan virus, coronavirus, call it by any name. There's something not okay. It reminds me of a movie. I'm a great believer in conspiracy theories. So if you have seen Kingsman: The Secret Service, the villain is trying to fix the virus on the earth, and he says the humans are the virus, so they have to be removed. And how does he do that? He gives everybody a free computer chip, which you install, and through that he controls you. There is a fear. There is a fear, because I know a little bit about nanotechnology and what it does, that probably those who have been vaccinated, they are controlled substances now. We are controlled substance. So this is the thought on my mind, but I'm looking forward to the 21st Varun's show. And thank you very much for inviting me to speak on that.
Sure.
So thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk at the end
Yes,
a little bit about that as well. But yes, Krishna ji, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
The first thing on the mind, आपका tweet, you tweeted this morning, or afternoon. That was a nice tweet, and I just put a retweet to that and said, "You eat, you sleep, you move
Right.
around, you do everything. Just be mindful. That's the important part, and you want to keep the minding away, mindfulness with you, and that's the thought of the day. Yeah."
Great, great. All right, so let me just say hello to everyone. Padmaja, to Sonal, to VP, to Michael. Michael is someone who used to, एकदम से मेरे को remind हो गया. During my RJ days, Michael Collins used to connect from Bangladesh. He has very little command over Hindi or English, but still he would join, he would support, he would share, he would take the streams to different groups and all. So there are people like Michael. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and hope, Michael, you're doing well. I heard even in Bangladesh the numbers are looking really scary, but hope you're safe. So let's get back to this topic. Even though बार बार नहीं मैं बोलूंगा, but yeah, last time बोल रहा हूँ कि ये last session है, but in the last six sessions, maybe one of you, if whosoever wants to volunteer, um, if you want to tell us a little bit about the overall experience that others have shared, not only people here on the platform or people here in the chat or otherwise, what has the experiences been, and then we could always connect, more people here jo bhi aayenge abhi, would love to hear their feedback as well. But overall, the Relax app, we've heard your vision, we've heard why you guys thought of doing it, but what has been the people's feedback, whosoever has been testing God. So maybe let's start with that, and then maybe we should go to the secret success mantra as well.
Yeah, I think, I'll go here first. Varunji, I think your show has really the numbers, we came as strangers to you on this topic and we didn't know like how it will go. But I think people have commented on number of viewers that you had on YouTube. I mean, it's from 28,000 to 58,000 kind of views on our show,
Yeah.
and that is kudos to you. And I'm glad that people were able to hear what we had to say. And I think that was the key thing that I got feedback. Of course, there were positive feedbacks. I didn't see many negative feedbacks either.
Great.
So, Vibhuti ji.
Amongst the thousands of people who have viewed the show, I'm particularly delighted to have made two new friends, Sonal and Padmaja, who is Padmaja, who is popularly known as Paddy, so it seems.
Right.
So I'm very grateful for your comments. You have studiously attended, participated. So very, very happy to meet you. Connect with us anytime you want, as Varun said earlier on, that we will give you our mobile number. That will be the WhatsApp connect. You will have access to reach us with any question, any thought. Even if you are pissed off, mad, and nobody to talk to, call me, call Krishna ji. We will take care of that. This is one of the things which I always do. And there's something which I do in my life is you know make a difference, and it can be very silly thing, make a difference. So I brought about one thing that I do in my life every year. I don't make a new year resolution. I look at two things. One is something that I'm doing and I don't like it doing it. Can I drop it? So I make a very concerted effort to drop that. Something that I have been wanting to do for a long time and I'm not doing it because I have millions of excuses, you know? So I begin to do that. And one of them is that I have taken it upon myself to make a stranger laugh when we make a call or something like that. This I do very faithfully. It has an amazing impact because whether it's a call center, somebody calling you, or you have a fixing a dental appointment or a doctor's appointment, you talk to the office staff. I make it a point. I don't know the person, but I will have something to say, whether I make myself stupid or whatever. I make the other person laugh. It is an amazing cathartic feeling for me, and the other person becomes so warm towards me. That's something which I always believe in. So my thought process is, as we go along, probably what we have said and shared is nothing new. You probably knew about that, but none of us have been ending up doing it. And my life is all about, we can acquire any amount of information and knowledge, but if we are not using it, then it's a waste. That's what I always believe. So don't force yourself to learning something that you're never going to use it. Acquire learning for a purpose. And this is, you don't make it sound as if it is the last show. This is, I would say, this is the end of the season. Like
Correct. End of the
NFL
season.
season will come to an end in a few weeks' time. This
Yeah.
is the season end of the season for this show. But we would be very delighted, and both Krishnaji and I are unanimous in saying so, to come back. And if ever you give us a call that we want to talk to you about this subject matter, we will be here. That's our
Abs-
absolute promise. And Krishnaji has already told me
Perfect.
anytime we will join you.
I'm really humbled, and so next week I'm gonna call you, just letting you know. All right, because
Yeah,
now,
Vibhuti ji will be getting a lot of calls. I think I just want to add to what Vibhuti is saying, that basically, by reading about how to do bicycle or by reading about swimming, you won't learn swimming and you won't be able to ride the bike. The same way, it doesn't matter how much we talk about mindfulness, meditation, or Nishkam Karma Yoga. I think practice, practice, practice. I think practice is important. And that's what Vibhuti is kind of emphasizing here, that yes, go and do something rather than just talk about it.
got it.
And yeah,
Okay,
that's important.
so I think from what we were discussing last week as well, that secret sauce, the secret success mantra. Maybe as a snapshot of the whole discussion, maybe one of you or both of you, whosoever wants to again take the lead, kind of give the magic wand in everybody's hands now. Okay, this is how things will be, and this is how you have to see things, and this is how you have to act. So आप में से जो भी शुरू करना चाहेगा इस टॉपिक को.
Yeah, last time Vibhuti ji kind of prompted me to talk about Krishna's 5 pillars of success.
Yes.
So I'll try to take that up, because it's so dear to me, and it's my interpretation of Panchaitani Bhutani, that slok, and Adhishtanam Tatha Karta. I think the most important one, or very important one, is the platform. And just think about our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji. If he's chief minister, that platform is different than Prime Minister platform, and that is the important one. So there are ready-made platforms, but then also you can create platforms. So both are important. Like if there is no independent India and someone else is ruling you, that platform can never be yours. So now you have to create that platform. Otherwise, you won't be able to accomplish and do things that you would like to do. There is no freedom because you will never get the platform. So it is important, and it's in life as well. Simple life, you need to create a, a platform for yourself. Like Varunji, you have created a wonderful platform where I could come, Vibhutiji could come. I mean, this is the platform that you created, and YouTube made it possible for us to be there. So this platform thing is so important for all of us, and all of us should think about it. And Plato had a saying as well, which is, I'm sure you guys know the name. And there was a time when I was offered, you know, an opportunity to become, say, chief of urology. And then we were saying, why take that position? I mean, it's so much, sometimes headache. And I came across Plato's. I mean, we have our own sayings as well. Is that if you don't take that position, someone probably inferior to you will be guiding you or telling you what to do. So it is important that there is a platform, and it's important that good people also be strong and take that position. So this is, of course, important. The second one is about the ability of you as a person who is occupying that position. And things change. I mean, whether it is a governor or president, if the presidency changes, the whole thing changes, and whole wave changes, whole flow changes. So when we talk about flow, it's not just the flow from inside out that, as a person, but there is also a flow of everything that goes around that platform and the person. So the ability of that person is important as well. Whether it is Indira Gandhi, or whether it is Chacha Nehru, or whether it is Narendra Modi ji, you can see that shift in the whole flow that is happening already. People who didn't go to temples are now going to temples. So that person and combination of person and the platform can make huge changes in how the whole society and the whole country goes on. So on this one, Vibhuti, do you have any comments on these two? Then we'll go to the other three.
No, you have said it very well, because platform is required. We are all on a platform. We are operating here, and then how we handle that platform is a function of individual leadership. It's about the individual initiative who is occupying that position. So this is very critical, and these two are very important: the platform and the person. But that's what it is, the person's attributes that elevates the platform. It is the person's inabilities that decreases the platform. And it is the platform that elevates a person to do better. It's a codependence of the whole thing, and coexistence of these two scenarios is very important. And that's what we have to learn. That the environment is given to us. We are all in America, but not everybody will be a multimillionaire. Let's be clear about it. There are multimillionaires sitting in India, in Ghana, in many parts of the world, which are considered to be poor countries. Well, India was also, I know as a banker, that India was known as a poor country of rich people. So, we know that dichotomy that existed. So, important part is that this is what Krishna says. Bhagwan Krishna says very clearly, you are important, and so is the platform that you are operating on. You elevate the platform, you elevate yourself. You elevate yourself, you elevate the platform. That's very critical to understand, because platform is the place of action. You can define that. We can put it in modern terminology. You can say the platform is the place of action. And then you are talking about the individual part of it. Vyakti Vishesh, you are the performer. This is the part that you have to always remember. Place of action, and you are the performer. Never ever ignore that part, because it's our ability to perform becomes critical without the platform. So we are performing today on the screen, live, without interruption and without prompter, but we are doing this to the best of our ability. It impacts or it doesn't, I don't know. You are the ones to tell us about this.
Right. All right. Go ahead, Krishnaji.
So we'll take to the next two, which is more like a policy matter. And it is like Karanam cha prithak vidham. So basically, Karanam means tools. So America is America because it had the atomic bomb, and they could use it. I mean, there is debates about whether the use was right or wrong or whatever. But if you don't have the tools to control or to produce or to be effective, then you will be like there was a time when, I don't know, Vibhuti, you remember PL 480, right? India was in a position where they had to get wheat from outside, and now they can export. So there is a difference of what you have and what you can do. And thank God that we had the IIT or the IIMs or the platforms where people could study and become or bring India up. And Prithak Vidham is like different approaches. It's like in India is good at that jugaad. It's like that is it. But so those things are important. Those two things are very, very important. So you have the platform, you have all the specialty, personality. But if you don't have the other things, there should be policies to acquire those or to develop those in a way that you are powerful, you are self-sufficient, and then you can take care of others. I'll come to the fifth after this, but yeah, your
I will
thoughts.
I will talk about what the means and tools. It is like it is said in Bhagavad Gita is about various senses. These are our tools. The various senses are our tools. So eventually, you can perform on the platform as an individual if you are using your senses properly, your learning ability, and your capabilities. That's how where you have to make a determination that what you create the tools. You have to create the tools to be successful. So think about this very platform. If you did not create the technology, YouTube is not for us then, right? You install cameras, you install the tools that is making this happen. So look at it from your daily life perspective itself. It is all element of mutual coexistence. Your means and tools you develop, you build, or you use, which is existing. There's nothing wrong in it. But to be able to identify what tools are required is critical. You can't walk with the cricket bat to play baseball. You can't carry the soccer ball to play NFL. NFL is, what do you call the playoffs? There are specific tools meant for specific moments.
Right.
And you have to use those tools for those moments to perform. So that means the other one, the fourth one is effort and endeavor. Then you have to put in your hard work. That's something which you cannot escape. You can ask each one of us who have studied. If you want to do PhD, you want to do FRCS, you want to do MBA, you do PhD, there is massive effort required to acquire knowledge, to be able to apply that knowledge. That's what is, if you want to be a warrior, you have to practice, practice, and practice to become better. There is no substitute to that. And now, Krishnaji, you go for the fifth one now.
The fifth one, I love the fifth one. This is my favorite, of course. Is Daivi. Daivi, it's like what we call sometimes luck or chance. And this is where a big difference comes. When you say Daivi, it seems like you can't do anything about it. But in Krishna's term or in Ram's term as well, they want to do something about it. So they're not leaving it totally to the chance. They know that there is a force, but go and get them in your favor. Like Hanumanji was sitting on the chariot of Arjun. And before starting the war, Krishna goes to Devi Puja. So they are getting, those alignments that are important, that are not under our control. And we all know about Bhagwan Ram doing Rameshwaram, that sthapana of Shivling. And the story of that, I heard it from Kumar Vishwas on the YouTube as well. And a couple of stories are so amazing that he was doing the Shivling sthapana, and they needed a Brahmin to do the puja. And so Jamwant goes to Ravan and says, will you be our, pujari, and, Ramji will be a jajman. And Ravan agrees, but then he also says that he is Banvasi, so I will do all the arrangements because he's outside his home. And Ravan comes with Sita, because Ram cannot do it alone. And then they do the puja and they do the sthapana, and then Ravan takes Sita back. It's an amazing story, it's like that. But there is another part I heard about, and I don't know if it is in Tulsidas Ramayana, but one of the times when Ram and Ravan were, the fight was going on, and then Shaktiban, Lakshman, and Laga, and it was, Ram's army was not doing very well. And then in the evening, Ram was worried, and he was saying, so they said, I mean, why are you worried, Jamwant and other people? And he said, I'm worried because what I saw on Ravan's side is Devi ji and all those Shakti are fighting on his behalf. They are on his side. So then Bhagwan Ram goes and does prarthana, Shakti prarthana, and then Shakti gets pleased, and then he goes into the war to win. So I'm saying these stories because these stories say that yes, you can do something. Of course, we take so many anguti, every ungli has an anguti. Uh, that's one thing, but that's an easy way out, money way out. But doing means, do some sadhana, do some puja, do some prarthana, and get the alignment uh, of that part alongside with you, and you will see a big difference in your life. So this is why I say this is my favorite. It doesn't mean I won't do my efforts. It's like, don't study and just go to temple, won't pass your exam, but you need to have this part as well with you. Vibhuti ji, am I
Yeah.
gone overboard?
No, 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 no.
No.
The luck, as we know, is a divinity. Luck is divinity. Is that you always pray for luck? As sometimes people say, better to be lucky than to be working hard. Like there is a saying like that. But the point which is important here is creating divinity through asanas, through prayers, through creating alliances. That's what is important. What was the example Krishnaji was talking about? That when Ram found that the Shakti is fighting on behalf on his side, on Ravan's side, he went and prayed and he did astha to bring Shakti on his side. So where do we derive that Shakti from? Doing an arti, doing a puja, doing a meditation, relaxation, or creating alliances, or all of it together. Where do we acquire that wisdom? So, for example, there are how many people would know the story of Ram Bhagavan trying to establish a Shivling, and Ravan comes to do all that gesture that he showed. These are amazing examples of action in the moment. Nobody deceived anyone, neither Ram nor Ravan. They all performed their duty. Point which I'm trying to drive to you here is that luck or divinity connected with strategy and hope. Hope is not a strategy, we all know that. But we do know that strategy gives hope an element of chance to perform. That is what is important. That you have to be, as the New York State Lottery slogan says, you have to be in it to win it.
Exactly.
Right? If you didn't buy the lottery ticket, you have no chance of winning it.
Right.
Forget about it. Otherwise, you have 1 in a 195 million odds to win the prize.
Exactly.
Be that as it may. But if you have to be participating, you have to create the conditions of satisfaction. The management jargon says you have to create the condition of satisfaction.
True.
To do that, I have to do this. That's it. You never want to be in a situation where you are all dressed up and you don't know where to go. So think about it from that point of view. I could have done it, but only if I was ready.
That's true. And that's why they say, right? I just flashed my own comment. I wanted to just highlight
Yes, yes.
luck favors those who are prepared. So
Right,
basically, you cannot be like, just relying on the luck factor itself. You
right,
have to have the knowledge, you have to have that will to do it. And only then, you'll be better prepared with
right.
that luck aspect. But, there are one odd cases as well, 0.1% or 1% where the person is totally ignorant, totally, worthless, but still luck is on their side and they make the most out of it. But that's like an exceptional case.
Right.
Most of it, or most of the times, I think you have to have that kind of, expertise or knowledge.
Right.
And you give a very good example on the lottery, right? In it to win it, of course you have to do something. कोई आके बिठा के तुम्हें $1 million नहीं देके जाएगा कि just because you're a nice guy, or I love how you talk, so you're gonna get 1 million right now. That's not gonna happen. You have
Right.
to work through towards
Right.
that, for sure.
Yeah. The other shorter version of luck favors those who are prepared is fortune favors the brave.
Fortune favors the brave.
Right.
Exactly.
That's important.
So Varunji, I mean, that is one. I use a word called minor miracles. Uh, that happens in all our lives. I mean, I have so many stories in my life, and I'm sure every one of us, who have come out a long way, has got gray hairs, have many stories, and we always, wow, when in Mahabharata, say a barn comes, Karn takes that arrow and throws at Arjun, and Arjun, the Rath goes down, and Arjun escapes. That is from all standards, is a minor miracle with major outcome. And, it's like sometimes I have, been kind of had, I could have had an accident, but, just saved, just escaped, or he had an accident and came out without any injury. I mean, those are minor miracles that happen in our life. And somewhere we have to be thankful to some place which protected us, or gave that um, instinct to save ourselves. So it does happen in our lives too.
Got it. I'm going to take a little pause here. Reason being, मुझे एकदम से याद आया. I was actually looking at the previous sessions, and there were certain people who had put in, because what happens is there are people who are live, during this time. Of course, there's not a whole lot of bunch, but then there are some people who come later, and they just put some kind of comments or questions. So I did make a note of couple of them. I just
Sure.
wanted to throw it out to you guys today, because this seemed to be the last one. So one of the things was, I think in the first or the second session, there was some kind of discussion around this. Should we compare ourselves? That was the question. Is it a good thing to compare? Say, for example, should I be comparing myself with you, or with Vibhuti Jaji, or with somebody else, or maybe in my professional life? Should I be comparing myself with somebody, my colleague, on various aspects, whether it's a good thing, bad thing? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Because it can go either ways. So what is your take, or what is your point on that?
You want to go, or shall I go ahead on this?
No, I mean, I really, comparison is so relative. It's like there is a competition in our, it's like grandkids. So I'll say I love you. The other one will say I love you more. The other will, the third one will say I love you most, more than the most. I mean, is that, it's like that's a joyous, happy, comparison. But comparing for a sake of kind of feeling like down or feeling like inferior, that is where it comes, where it's probably unhealthy. So there is healthy comparison, there is unhealthy comparison. um, and should there be competition? I suppose competition has been there from Ram's time, Krishna's time, but yes, were they healthy competition? And it's a question that is doesn't have one answer, at least in my dictionary. Depends on the situation.
Got it.
Uh, I would put it in a different way, slightly, in the sense that it's human nature to compare. We always want to be like Mike. Everybody wants to beat Michael Jordan in the basketball. Everybody wants to beat Federer and Nadal's record of how many Grand Slam trophies. But as Krishnaji said, if it enriches your competitive juices, it's good. But more often than not, it's our experience of working with people is Comparison, more often than not, creates a dispirited mind, frustrated mind. Look at the three of us. We are so different. I learned from my guru who said 90% of the stress happens because we are always comparing ourselves with somebody who we don't know. We just imagine, I wish I had that. I wish I were like him or her. Reality is that we forget how beautiful we ourselves are. And I'm not saying beautiful in terms of looks, I'm saying how beautiful life that we are ourselves. So whenever any reportee, that I was a team leader myself, heading a big team, and if anybody said, "Sir, I did my best," I would always ask, "How did you know that was your best?" Right? So we often do not know what is our best, and we end up making comparisons, which is when it is not necessary. The idea here is, and I'm very categorical about it, is that do yourself a big favor. Think about it from this point of view. Am I doing my best in this moment or not? Is this what I could do max? Or is there something else I could do that would make me perform better? You are your own best ally. You are your own best comparison point. And you have to know, am I doing the best that I could do to give me satisfaction? It's something which an example which I used with my son. Now we all want our children to be the best in the class, right? We create pressure, we create stress. Applied a completely different thought process. I said, listen, I'm not here to ask you to get 4.0 or 5.0 GPA, whatever that score is, that best score. I want you to think about it. You consider what you are worth. If you think that you are at best, you are worth 3.1, go get it. If you get 3.11, I'm delighted. But don't give me an excuse and a reason or justification if you did 2.99. That's a defeat. So if you are able to achieve what you are, you're fine. You are happy with that. Because you know I can't climb a 6-foot wall in one swing. But putting a couple of steps, I can. So think about it from that perspective, that we ourselves are a complete human being. And remember one thing, the three of us here, we can't beat each one in each other's games. Varun Kapoor and Vibhuti Jha will be abject failures trying to be urologist or a surgeon. हम तो जिंदगी बर्बाद कर देंगे लोगों की वहाँ पे. Correct, Krishna ji?
Well, no, it's not correct. If you chose to be, maybe you could have.
No,
So,
as at this point in time,
yeah,
at
at
this
this
point,
point in
as
time.
we are. So if you are prepared, that's what I said. If you prepare yourself to be a surgeon, then you can be as good or if not as good, near abouts. That's what I'm saying, that in
Yeah.
every scenario, we are our own best judge. Am I achieving? Am I doing what I must? That's what is important for us to do. That's what my take would be.
No, no, I agree on all the things you said, Vibhuti. I saw Sonal's remark, and that was, I think, a very good one for me, in our life, because when you say the best you, sometimes, and it was, when we were in school or something, if you are in a school with average kids, you don't need to do too much effort to get the
Exactly.
top position.
Correct.
And then you're not doing yourself a favor, because that's not the best you. I mean, the best you could be, the best you on a higher plane. So I think what she is saying is very good point, that uh, the best you is what you should strive for, not just a competitive best.
That's right.
uh,
That's what I'm saying. And
yeah,
your best is depending on what you can do.
yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say.
Got
In
it.
the arena that you
Yeah.
are in the field that you are in, is this the best that I can be? That's the choice that you make. That's the decision that you make. That's the achievement that you make. That's the point which I'm trying to make. It's not, I'm
yeah,
all for a healthy competition.
yeah.
Absolutely. It's good. Competition is good. In my business life, I always praise my competition. I love my competition because they are the ones who make me better.
Yeah.
Never ever trash your competition, because they are the ones who elevate your performance.
I
Yeah, I
think
mean, we claim, well, I shouldn't say claim, but one of the things in our app, is that we do help people with stress and anxiety and all that, but we also help you to become the best you.
Yes.
great. All right, I'm going to take two more. One of them was uh, asking questions. One of the sessions, I think that was also discussed. Okay, you should gain knowledge and you should know more about, like even now, right now, we were saying, right, if I had to become a urologist or you had to become, then अगर हम पहले से plan करते, prepare करते and all that, we could have been. But right now, if we think of doing it, of course, we'll be failures. But the question that came was, do you ask a lot of questions to get there, or do you settle for what you already learned, acquired, and gained? Where is that kind of balance?
That's an element for learning. You know, that's what is important. Reading books is one of them. Acquiring knowledge is one of them. Because you can never be satisfied with what you know. Because there is something out there that can teach you something more, both with reference to tips, techniques, as well as knowledge part of it. That's what is important. So never stop learning. And one of the key elements of learning is asking questions or making inquiries.
Mhm.
That's very critical. Never be afraid to ask. It's like something like you want to be, to use the jargon that we use, the work that we use is you have to be uh, risk agile. You have to understand that anything that we do, there is an element of risk involved in it. Everything that we do, whether we drive out to work, there is risk involved in it, right? Everything has risk. So the idea here is that you have to be risk agile, you have to be risk intelligent, and you have to be risk ready. These are things which are very important in everyone's life. Risk agility means about understanding the risk. Risk intelligent is about knowing what the options are. And risk ready is to be able to deploy those options. That's what is important, because things will always happen. To use the American slang, shit happens all the time, right? The question is that how do we deal with that? Every time something some new challenge will come about, a new unexpected thing will happen. That is where the mind and spirit equation becomes very, very important. In my lifetime, the one thing which I do know and I share, greater the crisis, more calm I get, personally speaking. Because that's not the time to throw your arms and legs about. You know, if I'm down by 2 goals, then I can't be playing a 2 minute NFL drill for remaining 48 minutes. You play 2 minute drill at the moment when it is announced that it is a 2 minute left now. That's what is important, to be able to know when I have to play. The risk intelligence also means the cost of not doing something. Most of the time we always think about doing, but there is a cost of not doing something is also very important to understand. There is a cost of money. I have been teaching Indian banks. There is a cost of money. Even you take a deposit, there's a cost to money. Money sitting in the bank or sitting under a pillow is wasted. So everything has a cost. You have to understand the concept of business in this part of it. You know, this is very, very critical. So get more. Learning is key. You never stop learning. And I always say that you start from that. I think we talked about that moment when you realize that, oh my God, I know nothing about this. And then you become a self-declared ignorant, SDI. And that's the beginning of the learning steps that I talked to you about. Then you keep advancing more and more. So keep learning, never stop.
Great. Krishna, do you want to add something?
Well, I'll take it to the other side of the discussion. Like, yes, in the world of domain of mind, Vibhuti is perfectly right that when you are learning, when you are growing, asking questions is healthy. And even in the spiritual area, I love the story of Nachiketa and Yamaraj. But finally, it's like one of the Osho used to say that in the experiential world, or when you in the spiritual pursuit, what happens ultimately is your questions drop. You have no more questions, and the answer appears to you. So there is, it depends upon which level you are. So asking question is wonderful. It's good to gain knowledge, good to get to a point, but then there comes a point when you are more into the experience and less into the questions. But that's for the spiritual pursuit.
Got it. All right. The last question, because I also want to be mindful of the time. I would really give you both, 5 minutes, or as much time towards the end. Very generic. Very, I think I saw kind of a similar question in almost 3 sessions, and इसीलिए it's a very simple, basic question. सुनने के लिए answer maybe something which might be more even complex, but the question was very simply put in on those sessions was, what is the best way to attain happiness? Whether it's through relax app, whether it's through some kind of spiritual upliftment, whether you get yoga done, whether you get anything else, but what is that success mantra to attain happiness?
Krishna ji?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I always like this, pursuit of happiness. If you are in pursuit of happiness, happiness never comes today. Happiness is always here now. And once you realize that, I think it just starts happening to you. And yes, there will be, it's like you will go away from the center. So your centering time, it's when you are upset or when something hits you, some tsunami happens, emotional tsunami or emotional storm. How quickly can you center? And there are people, I'm sure you know of people who keep a grudge for lifetime. And some people will have a month, some people will have a week. So once you bring that centering time to kind of close to zero, or close to as soon as you can, as close as you can get, your happiness levels will rocket up, and you will be happy today rather than you will be pursuit of happiness. Uh, then it's always in the future.
Wow. Well put across, Vibhuti ji. आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
We all want to be happy, don't we?
Yep.
And we always run after money. The two things which I know very clearly is that the more you run towards money, the more Lakshmi stays away from you.
It
So
runs away from you.
create conditions that happiness arrives at your door. And that is, you are your own self that happiness comes. You create the conditions of happiness. So when are you happiest? And each one of you, think about all those people who are here on the program listening to it. Think about your own moment which made you happy. Your marriage day, or the day you fell in love, or the you got the job that you were dreaming for, or the day in your job you got the maximum bonus, or the day your child was born. Which one was better than the other? You will find it very difficult to rate it, but we always know how to rank it. My pursuit of happiness is something like this. Every day you can be happy. You can't be laughing all 24 hours. You will be declared mad. So the question is, how do you manage your mood? How do you achieve your elevated equilibrium? My favorite phrase. How do you achieve an elevated equilibrium in whatever situation that you are? You will have sudden disappointment, right? There was you will have disappointments all the time, and you will have moments of glory all the time. The happiness comes with your state of mind in being able to take what is happening in the manner that it deserves. When you perform well, you are happy about your performance. When you do well, you are, even if you have done well at work, if you have your daughter or your son says that I failed in math or something like that, you get annoyed. You are unhappy now. You ruined my day. I was so happy at work, and now you ruined my day. That's all part of the karmic flow. We have to take things as they come to us. Life is not always a bed of roses, so goes the phrase. It's not always a bed of roses. Even the rose comes with thorns. It is not easy. So, the point which I'm trying to drive is that don't be desperately seeking happiness. You find happiness in things around you with what you do, how you behave, create conditions in which you make people happy. That's what makes you happy. That's the point which I was trying to tell in the earlier stages, is that your interaction with people makes somebody happy, makes somebody laugh. I do that every day. This is my job. One of my jobs is to make somebody laugh at my expense or by saying something that happens. That gives me so much happiness that I didn't know the person. I made that person laugh, and he or she will remember me for a while. That's what is important about happiness. It's an esoteric concept. Happiness is an esoteric concept, in my opinion. I may be wrong, but from my point of view, it never ends and it is always there. So the point of the matter is that if you stop seeking happiness, but just go ahead and do what you are doing in every sense of the term, and you will find that happiness spreads all over. Thank you.
Sorry, looks like मेरा थोड़ा कोई network connectivity का issue है, so I'm now on my phone. I don't know what happened, and while I restart my machine, तब तक विभूति जी आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
No, I mean,
Oh, sorry,
Krishna
कृष्णा जी
ji,
आप
yeah.
कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
No, I love one of the things, comment there, Golgappa, makes me happy. For me, it is litti, it's like I come from Bihar, Sattu and litti. Really, give me litti, I'll be happy all day. But what does litti and Golgappa do? I mean, just think about it, it's like it deflects you from something that might be, you may obsessed and not be happy about, to something that you love and your body loves and your stomach loves, and it's heaven. That litti is heaven, and I like Golgappa as well.
Okay, all right. So looks like last session है or last के 5 minutes है, and I will have to do it through the phone itself. But maybe just to summarize and once again focus more on the app itself. If you want to talk a little bit about that, and what would be your suggestions to people who are watching, listening, who'll be watching later as well? क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप सबको?
I would. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead, Vibhuti.
I have only one thing to say to people is that life success is all about learning and doing. So you have a tool available in Relax app. Everything that you will do in life will be a function of your mind, body, and your spirit flash or your urge, the fire, everything within you, right? And how to keep that ignited and operating at its max or optimum level that's what this app takes you towards. Whether it's a butterfly meditation, whether it's a chakra meditation, whether it's a humming meditation, or he's trying to get sleep. That's what it is all about. Today we got very interesting data in tennis, for example. If you have had a good night's sleep, your tennis first serve percentage goes up by 50%. This is the research done by some medical group people analyzing the tennis players. This was the information that was released today, or was it a
Nice.
few days ago? But I read it today. That if you have had a good sound sleep, your first serve percentage goes up by 50%. Those who play tennis, those who understand tennis, they understand the impact, what it has on the game of the player. That's what is important about sleep. Even Jason Bourne, in his Robert Ludlum says in the book, Jason Bourne is a spy who is going all around the place in the crazy way. He says, sleep and rest are weapons. Use them. Sleep and rest are weapons. Use them. That's what intermittent silence is all about. Sleep and rest. Rest allows you to recover. And that's what is important about all of it, is that app gives you a tool. Use it. If you don't use the tool, then it's all right. it's your call. And what we want to do is, when we come back after as many weeks or as few months as the case may be, you know, listen to the music. As Sonal is saying, listen to the music. It has a calming effect. I know a guy in Seattle. uh, he told me that his wife has begun to sleep better. That guy has joined Niti Aayog in India as a major senior officer, left from here. And he says, my wife sleeps better, and it happened within 2 weeks of the practice. So some people can have a quick impact, some people have a slower impact, but worry not. That's what app is all about. And when we return, we want to ask you for your feedback. What did you feel? Good, bad, or ugly? Make us better. That's where we want to rely upon you, is to use the app for these couple of months or weeks. It's not have doesn't have to be 2 hours or 20 hours. Use it one app a day, once in 3 days, once in 2 days, but do try it. That's where the whole thing is. You have a tool available, use
Right.
it. That's it.
Yeah,
Right.
I think just one quick reminder to everybody that the app has many, many meditations. It's like if you go to one guru, probably you will get one mantra and you have to do it. The trick is pick one and practice, stick to it for about a month or so, whether you are doing vipassana, humming, because there is a cumulative effect. And I think it's important to do that. And Vibhutiji, the most feedback I got was the sleep, that people either through chakra or yoga nidra, they're sleeping better. That is the feedback I also got. But to create, conserve and create energy, try to do the same meditation, same time, same place. And those things all create a synergy there. So that's a little tip.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And just one quick sentence here I wanted to add. It's like they create an automaticity in your behavior. When Krishnaji said that you do it same time, same place, and things like that, it's go back. Each one of us can go back to our first day when we stepped out to drive a car. Everything was so mysterious, right? Finding the keyhole,
Right.
giving the direction, switching on the light, brake, and everything else. Now think about how automatically we go into driving. Everything falls into place. That's what we have to create, the automaticity in our conduct, in the usage of the app, that you will know, right? Like Padmaja said that, Sonal said that it was very calming. She downloaded the app. Now, calming is there. Then think about the impact of what calming was having on you. That's what's important. That's
Right.
what is critical. When you begin to enjoy that, you are good to go. Thank you very much.
Great. Great. It's almost top of the hour. Of course, this is not a goodbye. और जैसे वो कहते हैं ना कोट भी है कि it's not goodbye, it's until we meet again. So
Right.
I'm really looking forward to meeting both of you again. Like you've already volunteered, and I definitely am gonna use it. I'm gonna definitely call you guys whenever we need that kind of expert discussion, expert advice, or just if people want to kind of talk about any of those issues that are going on. जैसे मैंने बताया, we all have been, especially most of my audience that listens and watches are all into Sushant Singh Rajput movement, and what it has done to all of us, including myself, is there are moments of despair, there are moments of sadness, there are moments of course a little bit of happiness, or I would not still call it happiness, but at least some kind of peace. But most of it puts a lot of pressure, a lot of sadness around us. So all I can say is, be it the Relax app, or be it these sessions, or be it the conversations that I've had with you, they have always been very soothing, very, very helpful. I'm sure people will resonate with that, and they will connect more, and they will. अभी तो मुझे सिर्फ ये सोचना है कि next Tuesday को 6 बजे मेरे को करना क्या है. That's my next thing, because if you're not doing this live, I definitely have to channelize my energy. So I think it'll be best that I start using Relax app every Tuesday 6 p.m. Guys, I'm still off the grid, because now I'll be on that app, and I think that gives me a good opportunity to connect to my own self. So once again, before we end, thank you to both of you until we meet again for sure. and really looking forward to all the success that this app gets, you guys get. Vibhuti ja ko to, I think you have your own kind of fan following. Ek main dekh raha tha, a guy, he's a good buddy as well. Ab to buddy ban gaya hai. Dheeraj, who is also in on the East Coast, he mentioned that he watches you and he saw you in Silence of Swastika documentary, and he's asking you questions about that as well. Halaki, I leave it up to you if you want to even answer him or let him know something. But you have your own fan following. Both of you now have your own followers. So giving me this opportunity, it was really, really very, very. I'm grateful for that. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to the next season or series, whatever you want to call it, where we continue this conversation and we really keep on inspiring and motivating people through your app, the Relax app, as well as your conversation. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I want to thank
फिर
each one of
मिलेंगे.
you for your
Thank you.
nice words, and thank you for encouraging us and having us in your family. And thanks to Sushant Singh, you created a family, Varun. You have created a family, and that you deal with each one's frustration, happiness, and joy at the same time, same way. So I would urge one thing is that, from time to time, I will share something that comes to my mind. Please share with the team around you. And
Okay.
one of the things that I will share is read an article. It's on Google by Sri Aurobindo. It's called The Bourgeois and the Samurai, or The
Okay.
Samurai and the Bourgeois. It is little longish. It's an article, but it might impact you in a very different way as to the person you are, and maybe it will inspire you to improve upon yourself as a as a samurai, as a bourgeois, whatever it is. But that article is absolutely stupendous, and I
Sure.
would urge you to read that. Thank you very much. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure throughout to be with you guys. Thank you.
Right. And just last 30 seconds, शुरुआत में विभूति जी ने बताया था, we will be talking to him again very soon on, of course, Sushant Day. That's one session which I can just reveal right now, because at this point of time, we've lined up a lot of great speakers, a lot of people who will be joining, talking about Sushant, because that is a Sushant Day itself. So it's all gonna be about Sushant, about the movement, about how things have gone. And who knows? As part of that conversation, there might be a little bit of kind of a detour towards the Relax app once again. So we will continue talking about that, and I will see you guys now, I think, directly on the 21st, because there's a lot of things that have to be planned and done in the next 1.5 days. So thank you once again to both of you, Krishna ji and Vibhuti ji, and thank you for
Thank
this
you.
wonderful app.
Thank you.
May God give you guys both a lot of success. And the next season, may we have a lot of more people providing more feedback and connect with you. So thank you so much. Take
Thank
care.
you. Good night. Good night.
Gratitude. Bye bye.